What's up guys, BCD Bricks here, and today we are going to be looking at the first ever DC modular building, Arkham Asylum. There will be time codes and chapters where you can skip around. Maybe you want to look at the minifigs first or look at the building first. It's up to you guys. Alright, see you guys, enjoy the review. And the first minifig we're going to be looking at is the Dark Knight himself, Batman. And overall, this figure is okay. We can see his printing, and it's the newer one from this year with that new helmet that's also molded, so you can reveal the face on both sides. And I just think this is a disappointing minifig, especially for being the first DC modular. We can see that he has no printing anywhere else but his torso, and it's just kind of disappointing. I do think his cape is a good addition to the character, but I do think another cape would have added a lot to this character. And for the second minifig we're going to be looking at is Damian Wayne, and we can see his cape is a standout with this set, with having that yellow and then the black on the other side. And for being the second ever Damian Wayne minifig, it's a great fig. He does have the short teen legs that can move. He does come with a sword, and then he has more of a smiley face on this side, and then more of a scared expression on this side. The next minifig we're going to be looking at is Batwoman, and I think she's a great minifig, especially with that cape again, but this one's more in a flight position. And then I do have to say that her torso printing and her head looks pretty good. We can see she has more of a neutral expression on this side. But I do think she was a weird inclusion in this set, just because there's other important members like Nightwing or Red Hood that they could have included instead of Batwoman. But I think she's a pretty alright figure. To finish out the Bat family, we do have Batwing. He's a great minifig, but also a weird inclusion. I definitely have to say his torso and leg printing are standouts. And also that new Batman cowl mold in that darkish metal gray color. And he does have two neutral expressions, with being a smiley face and then more of a scared face. And yeah, I do think his Batwing design is a little weird, but it does look better in this more not in flight mode. And he does come with these red studs in the bottom to make it look like he's more in the air. The next minifig we're going to be looking at is the Clown Prince himself, Joker. And he does use that orange jumpsuit that a few other characters use that have Arkham Asylum right on the back. And he does come with his classic bang gun. Overall, this figure is pretty good. I do think the head and hair just looks a little off. Maybe I'm blinded by the old video game look, but it just doesn't seem right, especially since he doesn't have an expression on the other side of his face. Going over to Harley Quinn, we can see she uses that same orange jumpsuit as Joker, and she does come with her mallet, which has two stickers on the side with her symbol on it. But overall, this figure is a little disappointing. I do think they should have included someone like Harley Quinzel, not in the whole Harley Quinn makeup, or even just a better Harley Quinn. We can see that she has roller skates on the bottom, which is just kind of odd. And then her hair piece is off the Lego Batman movie. Then flipping her expression around, we can see she's blowing a bubble on this side. Going to the next villain, we have Scarecrow, and we can see he's one of two characters that have the cuff piece, but he is in that same orange jumpsuit. And he's a pretty decent minifig. I do think a hood or a hat would have made him a lot better. And he does come with a little fear toxin. But yeah, he's just a simple design, but a great minifig. The next minifig we're going to be looking at is Bane, and he's a great minifig using that same orange jumpsuit, but I do think his new head print is just so much better. He does come with a dumbbell piece. It's just a simple design, and he does have a container for his Venom in the back. The next figure we're going to take a look at is Killer Croc, and he's also in cuffs like Scarecrow. He does come with a little chicken leg piece. But overall, this figure is pretty good. I do think maybe a different design for his torso. Maybe one that he's bursting out of the, because he's that big. Or maybe something without even this Arkham Asylum torso. But overall, I do think his head print is pretty good and is a decent minifig. To finish off the orange jumpsuit gang, we have the Penguin. And this is a great minifig. He does come with his umbrella and that little fur collar, which does look kind of cool. And he just has the same torso as the other ones, but different legs. And his head does have a little shiny monocle, as you can see. And overall, pretty cool character. The next character we're taking a look at is the Riddler, and he has a great design. I love how this figure looks, especially his hat with that golden question mark. And for some reason, all I hear is Paul Dano's Riddler in him. And then, of course, flipping him around, he does have a question mark on the back of his suit. Now we're going to take a look at the best minifig in the set, and that's Poison Ivy. This is the first time she's ever appeared in light green, and she looks perfect. And she does use that new Glinda hair from Wicked, and I think it complements Poison Ivy well. She does have more of an angry expression on this side, And on their other side, we do see she has more of a smiling expression. I do think this rose piece is a great inclusion, but I do think maybe dual molding printing would have made this figure a little better. The next minifig we're going to look at is Selena Kyle. She's a great minifig. I especially love her torso and her new head print. I do think that older mask design would have made this figure a little better, but she is a great minifig. She does come with a cat food accessory piece, and she does come with her classic whip, and then her back is just some standard printing. Rounding off the villains, we do have Mr. Freeze, which has a perfect design. I do think his freeze rate is a little disappointing though, but overall this figure is pretty cool, especially with that new dome piece introduced last year. And then he does have a light blue air tank, I would guess you would say, for any classic space fans out there. Great way to get it. And yeah, I think this is a great minifig. Just a little more printing would have gone a long way. Now taking a look at the last two minifigs in the set, we have two security guards. They both have the same exact design, just different head prints. And this one does have a little hearing aid, you can see right there. But these are both great minifigs, but just kind of basic. Then we can't forget penguins, I guess. But these are pretty cool little brick build penguins. I do like the dynamite right here and then the revolver with this one. They both have almost the exact same design. You do kind of get a bonus figure with this set, that being the angel, which is right above the door for Arkham. And this is a great minifig. I do love that clown graffiti on this side. And then if you switch the head, it does have a basic expression here. The first build we're going to take a look at is the Arkham Asylum van. This is a great build, but I do think the stickers on the side of it just don't match the white it's trying to emulate. But it is still a great build. And we can just see flipping around, it does have some dirt designs on it. And this is almost the exact same as the other side. And then on the top of this van, we can see the 7785, which is a reference to the first ever Lego Arkham Asylum. And both the roofs can be removed, where you can sit two minifigs right there. And then you can fit the stretcher in the back, which I'll show right now. And here's the stretcher build. It's just a simple design. You can remove these clips like that, fit someone like the Joker in, and then you can close it up and then stick it in the back of the Arkham Asylum ambulance. And lastly, if anyone is curious if you can just sit a normal minifig in it to kind of almost take them away to Arkham without the stretcher, you can put someone like the Riddler in there, close the lid, and it fits in perfect. Now, let's take a close-up look of the outside of Arkham Asylum, and this set is just beautiful. That's the only way to describe it. There's so many Easter eggs, there's so many characters on the outside, like Harley Quinn right up there. We got a penguin graffiti right over here. And then on the back, which these do lead to the prison cells, as you can see, but we will get to that later. On the back of this one, we can see the Metropolis post right here. Maybe that's a hint to the next modular we're going to get for the DC. We do have a little Wayne advertisement thing right there. And a hello there, which is a reference to Catwoman. And then switching to this side right up here, we do have a vote for Harvey Dent, which he is missing in the set, but maybe we can get him next year. And then on this side, we do have some Joker graffiti that says, ha ha ha. Right up here, we do have an H plus I, which is Harley plus Ivy. Taking a look at the back alleyway of Arkham, there's a lot of different Easter eggs, like this little cardboard box right here, which has a banana on it, which is a reference to the first time Gorilla Grodd ever appeared in a Lego set. Going over to the dumpster that has appeared in every Lego superhero modular, we can see some studs, which is a reference to the Lego Batman games. And then we do kind of get this pole-looking thing, which we will get to later. And then on the bottom of the garbage, we do have a Batman comic, which is the first appearance of Arkham Asylum. And then the last thing we're going to look at this alleyway is this little sticker right here that says it's not a revolving door, right above this door right here, which is a reference of how Arkham is always called a revolving door because prisoners get in and out all the time. And then flipping this side, we do have a Riddler graffiti right up here. Flipping the set to this side, we do have a little caution symbol, which says hitchhikers may be supervillains. And then all the way on this guard tower right here, it says smile, you're on camera. Taking a look at the outside courtyard, we do see the little sewer grate that says Gotham City, but it does look like someone like Killer Croc crawled out of it. And then on this side, we do have a drainage pipe that looks like it does have a reference to Clayface right there. Now, let's take a look at the inside of Arkham Asylum. When we first enter Arkham, we are greeted with this little entrance right here with a metal detector, and we can see that someone is trying to smuggle in a spoon. Going right over to the security guard area, we do have some cameras with the Joker It looks like Scarecrow pouring fear toxin in that water cooler. Bane working out, and a camera that looks like it's disabled. Going over to this desk, we can see a reference to the Batman Returns. And then right on this computer screen, we can actually see Clayface. If I can get my little hand in there. We got Clayface right there on the computer, which has a little Wayne Tech symbol right on the bottom of it. Going to this side, we can actually see Clayface's name tag right there, which is a reference to his first appearance. Over here, we have that height chart wall, which does look like it has a reference to King Shark. And then over here, we do have a reference with a bunch of villains, a stand-up with Mr. J being the Joker. Looks like we have the compound chemical of photosynthesis, if that can focus. We do have door code 1902. Right over here, we have a map of Arkham Asylum, a little note with Batman logo on it, and then a thing that says spoons missing. Right over here, we do have something that says open all doors. And then on the bottom right there, you can see a case file. Doesn't say who, but it does have a coffee stain on it. And then a little radium symbol right there. And then, of course, going over here, we have the maximum security cell, I guess you can say, which can open right up by moving this. And it does have a padded cell inside. So we're going to put someone like the Joker in and then shut the door on them. Going through the metal detector, we are greeted with 3 different prison cells. And we can see each one's individual. They're not designed for any characters, but you can imagine like they are. And they can all open from this dumpster right in the back. You can just see like that. And then we're going to take a look at the inside of each prison right now. Starting with this cell right here, it is a basic design. There's even no bed. Only thing in there is that orange piece that's kind of representing an orange jumpsuit. Going over the second cell, we can just see a bed, which can be lifted up to reveal more studs on the bottom of it. And then this cell is kind of disappointing because it is completely digged out, and all you can see is the spoon right there. I kind of wish that they had a floor that you could put right there just to act like the villain is trying to hide it a little better. And the last thing we're going to look at is right here. We do have a little symbol that has the no crossed out that says don't bring any coins, umbrella, playing cards, or a cooler. And it says beyond this point, you're ha ha ha. But that's about it for this floor, so let's go to the second floor. Going up the ladder, we do have some vines growing out of it. We can kind of see that on the outside. Next, we have a picture of the founder of Arkham. And then here's that sign that also says no coins, umbrellas. The same thing from downstairs, just not graffitied. And then now checking out the cells, we have poison ivies right here. Again, no bed, which is kind of disappointing, but whatever. Here's the next bed, which is the same design. The thing can lift up, revealing more studs. And here's the same design for this side. Now going through the metal detector this side, we can see some references to different characters, like the Court of Owls, Eraserhead, and just a red cup right there. And then on this side, we do have Harley Quinzel's office. We can kind of see that right there, but Harley Quinn's name is crossed off. And inside, we can see an Employee of the Month, a Most Wanted poster, and different references to villains on the inside, if I can actually get to it. Looks like we have Harvey Dent's coin right there, a case file on Killer Croc, some Harley Quinn makeup, maybe a reference to Mad Hatter with that cup, and then the little couch you can sit a minifig on. Going right outside of Harley Quinn's office, we have a little calendar right there, which is a reference to Calendar Man. And then we do have that water fountain right there that has Scarecrow's fear toxin in it. Going outside of this floor, we can take this guard tower off, revealing a little almost broken wall right there. And then inside of this guard tower, we can see that spilled cup of the fear toxin and the little Batman symbol right inside of it. Of course, now we get to the roof, which is just a simple design for a roof. We do have a little guard light right here. And then on this side, we have a little water cooler with some graffiti on it. But taking the roof off, we do have references, different characters, like Condiment King right there. And then you do see that white tile right there, which is a reference to Riddler, which says, "Riddle me this." With this being a modular building, there is plenty of different holes that you can connect it to other buildings. I also want to mention this is the first time LEGO has ever given us an inverted corner. So there is connections on each side, and I will show you them now. This side having the first one right here. Flipping to the back, we have 2 pins right down here. Going to the other side, we have the 2 pins right here. And then to this side, you might be confused because there is no pin, but let me show you how you can fix that. So if you guys remember that dumpster build, there was that weird pole right here. All you have to do is remove this little piece of clay and then put that piece right into here. And there you go. You have a new Technic pin right there for any modular building. All right, that's going to be it for this video. Guys, thank you for watching. I did want to say this is my first ever YouTube video, so I'm glad you guys picked this one and enjoyed this review. See you guys. Have a great day.